All right, so come into a seated position, Sukhasana, if that feels like a good way to sit. Awesome. Take a second to just settle in, and then if it feels good, let your eyes close down. Let your hands just rest somewhere comfortable. And then just take a few moments here just to notice your breath. And don't try to change or fix your breath, but just notice where in your body are you feeling your breath the most? In your chest, your shoulders, your belly, whatever the case may be, just take a moment to notice. Allow for a moment or two more just to tune in, notice your breath, and let your breath slow down a little bit. And then see if you can shift your focus to your physical body and just notice if any part of your body has become uncomfortable, can you make adjustments so that it feels good? Or if you were gripping in your body, if you're gripping in your fingers, your toes, or your shoulders, can you allow any of those spaces to soften? And then once you've found that softness again, shift your focus and just notice any of the thoughts that are going through your head. See if you've brought anything with you to your mat, you've got a to-do list in front of you, or anything that from the day so far, what can you set down, knowing all of that stuff will still be there when you're done with your practice. And then before we move away from this space, take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, eyes opened or closed, totally up to you. As you inhale, lift your chin up towards the sky. And as you exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. Keep your shoulders down and back. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale and tuck your chin down. Take a few more cycles of breath here and just move with your breath's rhythm, but take the time to notice. Notice the skin and the muscles moving through the front of your neck. And then notice the back of your neck as your chin tucks down. Are you holding tension in the back of your neck or your shoulders? On your next inhale, as your chin lifts up, stay there for one extra cycle of breath. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. See if you can keep your shoulders down and back, and then stay here for an extra cycle of breath. Awesome. And then bring your chin to a neutral place, and then we're going to bring it into the shoulders. So as you inhale, just let your shoulders float up to your ears, and then exhale, let your shoulders melt down. Inhale and let your shoulders lift. Exhale, shoulders soften down. One more just like that. Inhale, let your shoulders lift. Exhale, shoulders soften down, and then we're going to take it into a side stretch. So left hand's going to touch the ground, right hand's going to reach up. Get a nice, generous side bend, and then just take a moment here to pause. Notice the breath in the ribs and the side body. Take a big inhale. Slow exhale. Awesome, and then take it to the other side. Right hand touches down, left hand reaches up. Find that side bend, and then tune in and just notice the breath in the side of your body. Nice, and then lift it back up to a nice neutral spine. Hands can rest on your knees or at your sides, totally up to you, but we're gonna come back to the shoulders. But this time we're gonna inhale and squeeze the shoulders up and really contract the muscles in the side of the neck and the shoulders. And then as you exhale, just let them drop down. Inhale, lift them up, squeeze, contract those muscles, hold that contraction for a second, and then let it drop down. One more just like that. Lift up, squeeze, even scrunch up your face a little bit so you can really feel that contraction in the muscles. And then when you're ready, drop them down. Nice. And then back to that side bend. Left hand touches down, right hand reaches up, and then pull the thumb back, look up to the sky, take a nice big breath. Cool. And then we're going to take that top hand, reach forward like you're reaching for something across the room. Take a nice big reach, and then we're going to swim the hands around. So right hand's going to touch down, finding the ground. Left hand's going to sweep up, pull the thumb back, gaze up to the sky. Nice big breath. Awesome. And then take that top hand reach like you're reaching for something across the room. Awesome. And now we're going to meet in the middle. So we're going to swim the hands around and come into a little bit of an easy seated forward fold. And then walk yourself out just as far as feels good. Soften the back of your neck, soften through the back of your body. Take a nice big breath. Great. And then when you're ready, pull your abdominal muscles and drag your fingers, pull the ribs back. Just a nice strong sensation from the midsection. And then hands behind you just so you can lean back into your sits bones. We're going to swing the legs out, feet about shoulder width distance apart, big giant bend in the knees, and then just take a couple windshield wipers here. Moving into the hips and massaging out the glutes. Nice. Take one more little swish those knees side to side, and then we're going to take it into a nice seated ragdoll. So we're going to step the feet forward just a little bit so we create a little bit of extra length through the backs of the legs, and then pull up the belly, pull up the chest, lean forward, and then just let your hands rest wherever feels the most comfortable. Soften through the back of your neck, soften through the back of your body, and then see if you can just tune in and notice. Notice your low back and notice the breath up in the back of your ribs. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, slowly start to walk yourself up. Left leg is going to extend long, right leg is going to come in. So we're going to hold on to the knee, hold on to the heel, and just give that leg a little rock like a baby. We're not going to go deep into the hips yet since we haven't warmed them up. But if you can, bring your leg across into a little figure four, and then we're just going to catch hold of the foot. So let your hand just grab hold of your toes, soften up your ankle, and your hand's going to do the work. You're just going to twirl your foot in circles, go in one direction. Twirl your foot in circles, go the other way. And then a little stretch to the top of the foot. So you're going to take your hand and just press down gently on the toes so you feel a little stretch through the front of the ankle. Take a nice big breath. Cool. And then release your foot, lift it up gently, send it out nice and long, and take it to the other side. Grab the left knee, grab the heel, rock your leg a little side to side. Nice. And then bring it across your thigh into that figure four shape. Grab the tops of your toes. Let your ankle be soft. Let your hand do most of the work. Circle your foot in one direction. And then circle your foot the other way. Cool. And then let that come to stillness. Press onto the tops of the toes, a little gentle stretch through the top of the ankle. Take a nice big breath. And then release, gently lift that leg off, rock it around a little bit if you need to, send it out nice and long, and then give everything a good solid bounce. Bounce out your toes, bounce out your ankles, and bounce out your knees. From here, we're going to swing it around into a tabletop position. So spin your legs around. Take your time as you find your way there. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, spread your fingers nice and wide. And then just take a second to tune in down at your hands, spreading your fingers, index fingers pointing towards the top of the mat. And then you're going to think about pushing the floor away from you, broaden your shoulders, and just firm up your center just a little bit. Pull the abdominal muscles up towards the spine. Take a nice big conscious breath here. Nice. And then curl both sets of toes under, and then just find that rock forward and back, stretching through the bottoms of the feet and the toes, pulling your butt back to your heels, and then bringing your shoulders back in line with your wrists. Take one more time forward and back. And then the next time you come forward into tabletop, release your toes right into puppy pose. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Let your chest and your forehead sink down. Take a nice deep inhale. Nice slow exhale. 2 more cycles of breath here. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy, bring it back up into your tabletop position. And we're going to come into spinal balance, or a little bit of a bird dog. So think left hand, right leg, slide out, then firm up your center, lift and extend through the fingertips and through the toes. Gaze is down at the ground, firm up your center. Take a nice steady breath here. Cool. And then we're going to bend that knee and see if you can reach your hand back and just touch your foot, and then extend it nice and long. Bend that knee, reach your hand back, see if you can touch your foot. And no worries if you can't, we're just seeing if we can find it. And then reach it out nice and long. One more just like that. Bend the knee, see if your hand can find your foot. And then reach it out nice and long. Beautiful. Release it down with control. Take a second, wag out your tail. And then when you're ready, we take it to the other side. Left leg, right hand extend out. Maybe you lift up. Gaze is down at the ground. Take a nice steady breath. Beautiful. And then from here, if it feels available, bend your knee, reach your hand back, see if you can touch your foot, and then extend it out nice and long. Bend that knee, reach your hand back, and extend it out nice and long. Awesome. One more just like that. Bend the knee, see if you can reach your hand back and find that foot. Beautiful. And then extend it out nice and long. Release it all back down into your tabletop position, and then really start to bop those hips side to side, like you're trying to drop your hips all the way down to the ground. Nice. Take one more little bop of the hips side to side. Then we're going to take it into extended child's pose. So big toes together, knees super wide to the outer edges of your mat. Pull your butt back to your heels, and then let everything settle in. Let your belly, your chest, your forehead, your arms, your shoulders, let everything soften down. Take one more breath here, just like this. And then we're going to take it into a little thread the needle. So we're going to lift up slightly just to create a little space. Right hand's going to thread through and underneath. Right, your right shoulder to the ground, and then your butt's going to come back to your heels, reaching along through the left hand or pressing back into the left hand. So you create a little bit of sensation of your bum pressing back towards your heels. And then stay here for 2 more cycles of breath. And then when you feel ready, slowly start to unwind, lifting your bum up just a little bit so you can unleash that arm, and then take it to the other side. Left hand's going to thread through and underneath, your left shoulder to the ground, butt presses back to the heels. And take one more breath here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, lift up, unwind, float yourself back up, walk the knees so you come back into your tabletop position, curl both sets of toes under, lift up to downward facing dog, take a couple gentle pedals of the legs, bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Awesome. And then when you're ready, we're going to float those knees back down to the ground through tabletop position. Right foot's going to step forward into a nice 90-90 lunge. So you're going to step that foot forward, get yourself arranged. And then once you feel there, lift yourself up. And then think about pulling that right hip crease back so everything's nice and squared up. Raise your arms up, look to the sky, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then we're going to pay attention to the tailbone for a second. So with your arms extended up, can you draw your tailbone down towards your knee? And then see if you can feel a little sensation through the front of the left thigh and through the front of the left hip. Nice. And then right hand's going to find the hip, left hand's going to reach up and lean over to the right. Take a little side bend. Beautiful. Lifting back up. Hands are going to float down to the ground, stepping that right foot back, and left foot's going to step forward. So we're going to find that 90-90 lunge to the other side. Get yourself arranged, lift up, and then square everything up. Raise your arms up, take a nice big breath. Nice. And then from here, can you draw the tailbone down? So you feel a little pulling in from your center, maybe a little length through the front of that hip and down into the thigh. Arms are still raising up. Take a breath here. Left hand to the hip, right hand's going to reach, and we're going to lean over to the left. Beautiful. And then lift it back up, hands float down to the ground. Step that foot back, finding your tabletop position, and move right into cat and cow breath. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to drop your belly. Exhale to round. And then just keep that breath going for a few cycles of breath. If you like, close your eyes down so you can just pay attention to sensation rather than what your body looks like. Nice. Take one more cycle of breath. From here, we're going to take it into a little cow face prep pose. So we're going to extend the right leg out, swing your left toes over to the right side of your mat, tuck your right knee behind the left, toes pointing in opposite directions. And we're going to take 3 rocks forward and back. So you're just going to pull your bum back to your heels and then shoulders back in line with the wrist, butt back towards the heels, and then forward. One more just like that. Awesome. And then as you come back up, keeping that little crisscross of the knees, wag your tail a little bit side to side. Beautiful. And then when you're ready in that neutral position, unwind your legs and we'll take it to the other side. So left leg is going to extend out, right toes swing over to the left, tuck the left knee behind the right, find that little crisscross of the knees, and then away we go. Pull your butt back toward your heels, and then shoulders back in line with the wrist. Pulling back and coming forward, pulling back and coming forward. And then as you come forward, back to that wag of the tail, just dropping your hips a little bit side to side. Nice. And then bring it back in, unwind your legs back into that tabletop position. Take a second to get yourself arranged. And then when you're there, curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Press into your heels, dropping your heart towards your thighs. Take a nice big breath. When you're ready, look forward, soften your knees, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a little ragdoll fold at the top of your mat. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart. Make some space for yourself here. And then if it feels good, grab your elbows and let your head dangle. And then see if you can just take a moment here to tune in. Notice the backs of your legs. Notice the backs of your ankles. Notice your feet connected to the floor. Notice your low back, maybe even noticing the breath in the upper torso. And then maybe notice just something different, maybe even just noticing the warmth of your handhold on your elbows. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, relax your fingers towards the ground, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, strong from your navel center, round and roll up to a standing position. And then take a couple of good shrugs of your shoulders just to kind of soothe the shoulders out. Awesome. And then standing in a nice even stance, firm position with your feet. So feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart. We're going to come into our I Dream of Genie arms. So we're just going to catch hold of those elbows again. Anchor into your feet. So we want to keep our hips nice and solid, feet nice and solid on the ground, holding the elbows and just start to pull the elbows side to side. Imagine that your back is on the floor so it can't move too much. And then just see if you can tune in and notice that bit of gentle movement in the back side of your body. Keep your belly a little bit firm so there's not a lot of wobbling through your center. Nice. And then we're going to start to take those elbows up and down. And again, we want to keep our feet anchored. We want to keep our hips stable and forward. And we're just going to take those elbows as we pull them side to side, bring them up and down to shoulder height and then down towards the belly button. Nice. One more time up and down here. And then as you come back up, you're going to release your grab from your elbows. Right arm is going to pull all the way across the body. So you're going to grab hold of the back of the arm. See if you can drop your shoulder down away from your ear. And then once you found that good stretch in the shoulders, bring a nod of the head up and down, just moving at a pace that feels good, just tuning in and noticing the place between your shoulder blades and noticing the muscles up and down the back of your neck. Beautiful. One more up and down here. And then as you bring your head to neutral, release that arm and take it to the other side. Left arm's going to come across. We're going to grab the back of the arm, dropping the shoulder down away from the ear. And then once you've got that set up, back to the nod of your head up and down. Nice. One more nod of your head up and down. And then head comes to neutral, release your arms, swim both hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, knuckles draw down towards the heels, squeeze between the shoulder blades. If it feels good, lift the arms away from your backside just a little bit and then lift your chin up. So you get a little opening in the chest and the collarbones and a little stretch through the front of the neck and the throat. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release your chin back down, release your hands, and then find your way into your mountain pose. So if you need to rearrange your feet, step them so they're about hip or shoulder width distance apart, toes and knees pointing fairly forward, anchor into your feet, lift up through the crown of your head, shoulders soften down. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more just like that. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your side. Your right hand's going to touch the thigh, left hand's going to reach up. Take a side bend over to the right. Bring it back up. Left hand touches down, right hand reaches up, lean over to the left. Beautiful. Bring it back up, both hands down at your sides, finding that mountain pose again and pause just for a moment. Feel your feet connected to the ground. Take a nice big breath. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to downward facing dog. In down dog, you're going to step your feet just a little bit wider so we have a nice firm supported base. And then we're going to take the left hand, lift it up, reach across and see if you can find the outside of the right calf. And then find a little twist in your dog. Look under your armpit, take a nice big breath. Nice, release. Left hand reaches forward, right hand reaches back. Find that other calf, rotate a little bit, look under your armpit, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Release that hand back down. And then we're going to lift the heels, lower the knees, come into tabletop position. Walk your knees in so that they're in line with the hips and then into our spinal balance again. So left hand, right hand are going to reach and slide out. Beautiful. Release it back down nice and slow. Take it to the other side. Left leg, right hand are going to reach and slide out. Wonderful. Bring it back down and in, and then into child's pose. So big toes together, knees together, butt comes back to the heels, arms reach forward or arms slide back, whichever feels like a better and more comfortable position. And then take a moment here to just let everything soften again. Soften through the back of your body. In this position with the belly on the thighs, you might notice that compression of your breath. So make sure it's a comfortable compression and it's not just squeezing all the life out of you. So make sure it feels like a good position to be in. Otherwise, make a little space for yourself. Take 2 more cycles of breath here. Nice. And then from here, if your hands are forward, bring them back towards your feet. And then we're going to lift those hands up and find the low back. So just see if you can find that space there. From here, we're going to press into the tops of the feet and into the shins. As we inhale, we're going to lift up into a high kneel, reaching your arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, bring it back down. Butt back to the heels. Hands are going to find the low back. Inhale and rise up. Exhale and bring it back. One more just like that. Inhale and rise up. Exhale and bring it back. Hands are going to find the low back and then they're going to slide off the low back. Touch the soles of the feet. Soften the back of your neck. Take one good breath here. And then release. Hands are going to slide forward. Float your way back into a tabletop position. Curl your toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward. Walk, step, or hop your feet up to meet your hands. Come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, take your time, roll your shoulders down and back. Pause in your mountain pose for a second. And as it is 7:30, 9:30, if you got to get on with the rest of your day, I hope that it's magnificent. But if you're sticking around, we're going to pick up the pace just a little bit here. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, totally up to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Right leg is going to step back into a 90-90 lunge. So we're going to step the foot back, drop the knee down, find that position. Inhale, arms up and look up. Draw the tailbone down. Take a nice big breath. Left hand to the hip, right hand reaches up, lean over to the left, take a little side bend. Beautiful. Lift it back up. Both hands reach up to the sky. Look up. And then release your hands down to the ground. Back leg is going to walk back. So we're going to lift the knee up and find our runner's lunge here. Heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Beautiful. Plant your palms, step back into a plank. Lovely. Right away, bring your knees down, lower gently onto your belly. We're going to bend the right knee, hug the heel in towards the butt. See if you can reach your right hand back, catch hold of that foot. Hug your heel in towards your bottom, heart forward, look forward, take one good breath. Release your hold from that foot. Let that foot float gently back down to the ground. Take it to the other side. Left leg is going to bend. Reach your left hand back. See if you can catch hold of the foot. Hug your heel in towards your butt. Heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Nice. Release that foot with control. Curl both sets of toes under. Power up to a plank if you can, or take it up into a tabletop position and then up to your downward facing dog. Look forward and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep all that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left leg back into that 90 lunge. So we're going to step it back, drop the knee down, square it up. And when you're ready, reaching your arms up. Draw the tailbone down, find that length through the front of that left hip and thigh. Nice. Right hand to the hip, left hand reaches up, lean over to the right. Beautiful. Lift up, float your hands down, and then we're going to walk that left leg back. So we're going to come into our runner's lunge, lifting the knee up, heart forward, look forward, and take a breath. Awesome. Plant your palms, step back to a plank. Beautiful. Gently lower your knees, lower with control onto your belly. 3 low cobras here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower down. Awesome. Now we're going to bend both knees, give a little swish of the heels side to side just to soothe the low back. And then see if it feels available. We're just going to reach our hands back. We're not going to go extreme here yet. We haven't warmed the back up quite enough yet. So grab hold of your right foot. See if you can reach your left hand back, grab hold of the left foot. Let your chest be soft. Let your shoulders be heavy. And we just want to think about hugging the heels in towards the butt. And basically here, we're just seeing if we can find that handhold and see how that feels. Take one more moment here. Cool. And then gently release your feet. Let them float back down to the ground, hands alongside the shoulders, curl your toes under, either power up to a plank or take it up to a tabletop, whichever you prefer, and then take it up to downward facing dog. Look forward and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to forward fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep all that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet, inhale, arms up, grab that imaginary beach ball above your head, exhale, sink right into a chair. Inhale and rise up. Exhale and sink into your chair. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink into your chair. Pay attention to your inner thighs here and make sure your knees aren't dropping in or dropping out. We want to keep them in line with the second toe. Lifting up. Exhale to sink down. Inhale to rise up. Beautiful. Exhale, sink down, stay there. Sink just a little bit deeper. Draw your tailbone down, engage your abdominal muscles so you feel like you're engaged in the solar plexus. Hip bones are drawing in towards each other. Take one more moment just to notice the strength in your legs. And then on your next exhale, fold it all down. Beautiful. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, step both feet back to down dog. Step your feet just a little bit wider for that nice base of support. Left hand's going to reach towards the right outside of the ankle. Rotate, look under the armpit, take a breath. Release and take it to the other side. Right hand reaches over and across. Look under the armpit and take a breath. Beautiful. Releasing that. Pick up your heels, lower your knees, come back into a tabletop. So you've got to walk those knees in just a little bit. And then left hand, right leg is going to reach out. We're going to lift up into that spinal balance and then see how it feels. Bending the knee, reaching your left hand back. Can you catch hold of the foot? And then once you've caught hold of the foot, how does it feel to push the foot into the hand? Hand helps resist. Open up just a little bit more. Take one good breath. Nice. And then gently release back to that spinal balance. And then float it back down to your tabletop and we take it to the other side. Left leg, right hand extends out, lifting up, and then see if it feels good to bend the knee, reach your hand back, catch hold of the foot. And then if you've got hold of the foot, can you push your foot into your hand and open up just a little bit more? Beautiful. Gently release, extending out nice and long, floating it back into that tabletop shape. Big toes together, knees to the outer edges of your mat. Come back to extended child's pose. Pull your butt back to your heels. Belly, chest, and forehead soften down. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Making sure it's safe and comfortable for your knees and your hips. We're going to walk ourselves back so we can sit up on our heels. So we're going to keep that wide position of the knees, sit yourself up nice and tall, 3 lines pressed. So we're going to take our hands, rotate the fingers inward, palms to the ground, shoulder blades draw down, heart opens up. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, stick out your tongue and let out a little noise. Take a big inhale and exhale, let it all out. Take one more breath. Exhale, let it go. Nice. And then when you're ready, release. We're going to keep that seated position. Hands are going to float behind, opening the chest just a little bit more. So think about squeezing the shoulder blades, lifting the chest and chin. And then if it feels good to take it into a little bigger back bend here, you're going to lift your hips away from the heels. Hips come forward, squeezing the shoulder blades, heart opens up. Take one good breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, float your butt back down towards your heels. Hands float forward, curl the toes under, lift up to downward facing dog. Look forward and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, stepping the right leg back. We're going to come through warrior 2 to triangle pose. So step the foot back, pivot the heel down. Right hand is going to spin you up. Make sure your legs feel like they're good and balanced in a nice evenly weighted position. And then we're going to straighten the front leg, pop the back hip out, reach through the torso. Maybe you stop at the thigh, maybe the shin, maybe the floor, maybe your big toe. Just depends on the variations in your body. And then bottom ribs are going to pull forward. Top ribs are going to roll up towards the ceiling. Arm extends up, look to the sky, take a nice big breath. Nice. When you're ready, strong legs, strong side body. Lift yourself up with control, reverse your triangle. Drop the back hand, reach the front hand up, look to the sky. Beautiful. And then spin your hands down to the ground, pivot on that back heel. So we come into our runner's lunge. Awesome. Plant your palms, step back to a plank. Lower your knees, lower with control onto your belly. Inhale up to a nice high cobra. Exhale to lower down. Bend both knees. Reach your hands back, see if you can catch hold of those feet. And then here, if you've got hold of the feet and it feels good, you're going to think about pushing your feet into your hands. Hands are going to help resist, finding a little opening through the front of the body. Take a nice big breath. Nice slow breath out. 2 more cycles of breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, with control, release your hold from those hands, release your hold from the feet, float them back down to the ground, curl your toes under, power up to a plank or take it through your tabletop, and then up to your downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back. We're going through that warrior 2 to our triangle on the other side. So drop the heel down, spin your hands up, find that nice evenly weighted position with the legs. And then once you feel like you're there, straighten that front leg, pop the back hip out, reach long through your torso, maybe the thigh, maybe the shin, the floor, or the big toe. Bottom ribs pull forward, top ribs roll up, look to the sky, take a nice big breath. One more breath. Anchor into your feet, nice and strong in your side body. Lift yourself up with control. Reverse your triangle. Drop the back hand, reach the front hand up, look to the sky. Beautiful. And then spin those hands down to the ground. Pivot on your back heel. Come into your runner's lunge. Nice. Plant your palms, step back to plank. Lower your knees, lower with control onto your belly. Inhale up to Cobra, nice and high. Exhale to lower down. And now we're going to take it into half locust here. So take a second to just kind of shimmy out your butt, wiggle out your heels, get everything nice and soft and loose. Want to encourage a little softness and looseness up in the hip joint. So let the thigh bone kind of just jiggle around a little bit. And then once you feel like you've found a little looseness, tuck your fingers under your hip bones or let your hands rest under your forehead, whichever feels like a better way to go. And then we're going to pull the right toes, pull them so far away from you that the leg lengthens and lifts up. Pull the toes away from you as you lower down. Once you touch down to the ground, give everything a little soft shake. And then take it to the other side. Pull the left toes away from you. Pull them so far that they lengthen and lift up. Pull them so far as you lengthen and lower down. And then once you touch down to the ground, give it a good solid shake. Nice. And then release your hands from underneath your hip bones, bending both feet. We're going to reach back, see if we can catch hold of those feet again, and then see if it feels good to push your hands into your feet, feet into your hands. Find that little bit of opening up. 3 good solid breaths here. Nice. And then when you're ready, with control, release your hold from your feet. Feet float down. Push your way up into a tabletop position. 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to drop your belly. Exhale to round. 1 more breath. Find that neutral spine. Curl the toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. And we're going to take it right into a pigeon pose. So right leg is going to come up nice and high, 3-legged dog. If you like, bend the knee, let the hip roll open, take a breath. And then we're going to drop that leg across the mat. Right knee over to the right, right foot in towards the left. Soften that left leg down, and then just let everything settle in for a second. Take a time to find some space for your hips. And then once you feel like you're there, any reclined position that feels good. You might like elbows and forearms. You might like to stay a little bit more lifted to protect the low back. So you're going to play around with which position feels good, and then take a moment here to come back to your breath. Take 1 more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly start to bring yourself back up, walking your hands up and in, lifting up through the chest, curl the back toes under, lift your back knee up, slide that right leg back, come to down dog, take a pedal or 2 of the legs. And then when you're ready, we'll take it to the other side. Left leg is going to lift up. Maybe you let the knee drop open, opening the hip. And then when you feel ready, dropping that leg across your mat and sliding the right leg down and back. Awesome. And then just make sure all your knees feel good and happy about this position. And then if it feels good, come down elbows and forearms or in any other reclined position that feels good. And then invite some softness back in. Soften through the back of your body. Take the time here to notice your breath. Take one more breath. And then if you feel ready, start to walk yourself back up and in. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee up, slide that leg back, come back to down dog, take a pedal or two of the legs. Nice, and then when you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands. We're gonna roll down into a little ball of yarn and then start to find our way down to the ground. So pick up your heels, bend your knees, drop your butt toward your heels, tuck your chin to your chest, take a nice big breath. Awesome, and then just sit your butt down onto the ground. We're gonna extend the legs out in front of us, nice and long. Take a second just to kind of make yourself some space on your mat. And then we're gonna pull the right knee in, grab hold of the back of the leg so you can just lift the heel up. And then we're just gonna take a couple of little gentle bends and straightens of the legs. Doesn't have to be anything extreme. Just kind of feel that movement in the back of your hand. Nice. And then the next time your leg straightens a little bit, can you walk your hands up and then find a little bit of lift through that leg? And again, it doesn't have to straighten all the way and it does not need to be extreme. Just feeling that little tug in the back of the leg. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Soften that knee, float it on down. Take a second, bounce out anything you may have come across. And then we're going to take that to the other side. So we're going to grab hold of the back of the leg and then take a couple of good bends and straightens here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, extending that leg up just a little bit, walk your hands up. Maybe you bring that leg a little closer to you. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully release that leg down, give it all a good bounce. Now we're going to externally rotate the left leg. So we're going to bring the left foot into the inner thigh and let the knee drop out. From here, we're going to take a nice big breath. Think up and over. Exhale, reach towards your foot. Does not matter if you touch your foot. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then walk yourself back up. Hands are going to come behind you. We're going to push into the ground so that we can shift our hips. So you're just going to lift your tush up and then rotate. So now we want to find our hips at a bit of an angle. And once you've got that angled position, right hand's going to come to the inside of the thigh. Left hand's going to reach up and take it into a little revolved head to knee pose. Left hand is going to find that nice big side body stretch. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Lift it up nice and slow and controlled. Hands are going to find the ground. You're going to push into the floor, lift your hips so that you can rotate the hips. So now hips are squared up. And then we're going to just pick that left knee up. Right hand's going to wrap around that left knee. And then we're going to rotate to the left. Find a little twist here. One more breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, unwind. Left leg is going to extend nice and long, and we're going to bring it to the other side. So right foot's going to come in, externally rotating the knee, foot to the inner thigh. Take a nice big breath, reach up and over. Exhale as you reach toward your foot. Beautiful. And then come right back up. Hands are going to come behind you. We're going to push into the ground, lift your hips, rotate your hips out at an angle. Nice. And then once you found your way there, elbow to the inner thigh, top arm reaches up, and we find that nice big side bend. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy, lifting it up, hands behind you, pick up your butt, rotate your hips forward, and then pick that right knee up. Left hand's going to wrap around that knee. We rotate to the right and find a little twist. Cool. When you're ready, nice and easy release, unwind, send that right leg nice and long, give everything a little wiggle and a little bounce. And then when you're ready, shoot your hips forward, roll your way down to the ground, take your time as you come on down, and then just pause for a moment. Let your spine kind of chill out, get yourself situated. With your feet in hip width distance apart, knees bent, we're going to bring it back into our I Dream of Genie arms. So we're going to keep our hips and our feet nice and anchored on the ground, and we're just going to start to pull the elbows side to side. One more pull of the elbows side to side. And then as you come back to center, pull your right knee into your chest, catch hold of the knee, draw that knee in circles, go in one direction. Draw that knee in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. Hold on to that knee nice and tight to the chest. Slide your left leg nice and long. One breath of supine twist. Take the right knee over and across the body. Let your right arm open out nice and wide. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Pull the right knee back into your chest. Bring the left knee into meet. And then set your right foot down so that right knee is in that bent knee position. We're going to take the left knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. And then draw those circles the other way. Nice. And then supine twist to the other side for one breath. So hold that left knee into your chest. Right leg extends long. Left knee comes over and across the body. Left arm opens nice and wide. Head turns to the left. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Beautiful. Bring the left knee into the chest. Bring the right knee into meet. Both knees into the chest. Give a little hug, a little squeeze. And then we're going to hold on with a firmness in our arms. Push your knees into your hands. Feel the muscles engage in your thighs, in your back body. Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, soften it all up. Pull your knees into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release your hold from your knees, float your feet down to the ground, toe heel your feet out to the outer edges of your mat, and take a couple of windshield wipers here. Small or big, totally up to you, just allowing the movement to feel good and natural, and it should be soothing in the hips and soothing to the low back. Take one more swish of the knees side to side. And then when you feel ready, start to find your way into your Shavasana. So maybe you take it into constructive rest, support the low back. Maybe you like a reclined cobbler's pose, a little work in the hips and the inner thighs, or maybe you extend your legs out and find that more traditional shape. So find the position that feels good to you. And then once you feel like you found it, give your body a moment or two to settle in. Invite softness into your hands and your feet. Invite a sense of softness back into your breath. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Gently wake up your fingers and wake up your toes. Invite some gentle movement back into your body. Maybe deepen your breath. And then if it feels good to do so, take a big good morning stretch like a yawn. Stretch your fingers up and overhead, reach through your toes. Take a moment here to just kind of notice the breath in your ribs and your side body. And then when you feel ready, slowly and mindfully start to find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Awesome. And then as you find your way up, we're going to take our left hand, reach across and just gently press. You're just going to put a little gentle handhold. So it's not choking yourself out, but just a little press. So you have a firm hold of the skin. And then we're going to take our nose and draw it in circles, go in one direction. And if you like, close your eyes down. So you can just tune in and feel that little bit of movement underneath your hand. And then take your nose and draw those circles in the other direction. Small and mindful, we're not yanking the head around, and we just want to tune in and feel that movement of skin underneath the hand. Nice. And then let your head come to stillness, and we're going to switch sides. So the other hand is going to reach across. Find that little firm press, not choking yourself out, just hanging on to the skin there. And then take your head, draw it in circles, go one direction. Nice. And then draw your circles the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, head comes to stillness, release your hand, eyes closed down, and then just for a moment, tune in and notice. Notice the space in the front of your neck and your throat. Take a nice big breath. Nice slow breath out. On your next in breath, if it feels good, stack both hands on top of your heart. Take a nice deep breath in, breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And gently lift up to the top of your head. Gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Tuesday.